Okay, I'm really proud of our guys. I thought, we handled some adversity, didn't get off to a great start. I think they had us by 10, maybe even a little bit more than that. And I thought we really, dealt with adversity, came back, had a chance to play in the first half, had a chance to, take the lead. And then beginning of the second half, just like we came out a little bit tentative, I give Carolina credit. In the second half, the same thing. We had a hard time rebounding the ball. I just thought the two big guys, whatever they had, 44 and 25, and they're really good, and it's hard to guard those guys. But I thought our guys, we hung in there, and we had 36 points. They had 36 points in the paint. We didn't turn the ball over. I thought we did a decent job against a really talented, well-coached team. So proud of our effort. Now we got to go back and get ready for the game on Thanksgiving.
We've got Buddy Simmons II and Frank Mitchell with us. We'll start taking questions. Spencer?
Yeah, Buddy, you had 22 points tonight, 9 of 16 from the floor. What were you seeing before they just moved on?
To be honest with you, I seen 7 foot, 6'11" guys up in front of me, but majority of the time though, they were really icing the ball screens. So sometimes I use the ball screens, I snake it because we've been working on the snakes, and I've been seeing passing to my guy Frank, and it seemed like the ball went in, and I got some assists from Frank, so that's pretty much it.
Frank, you were, had the matchup with Henry Basar tonight, and a number of times on the offensive side, you were able to bully your way into the paint there. What were you seeing with that matchup?
Honestly, it's just two bigs playing basketball, you know what I mean? I don't think anyone bullied anyone. Just came out there and played basketball, played the right way. Credit goes to him, man. He's a hell of a player. And, like I said, the coach and the team said, yo, you can work. And that's what you did. Two big guys working, and that's it. At the end of the game, it's results, and that's it.
Both of you guys came from different schools. What's it been like adjusting to this new school and working together?
It's good, bro. The culture here is winning, bro. The culture here is tremendous, and I enjoy being around these guys. Coach Schmidt is a hell of a coach. He talks about the culture here, and that's what we have to do. You know what I mean? Even when we win or lose, he wants excellence for us, and he wants perfection. So being in a program where that's like the bare minimum, it just allows it to sky high, right? So I'm blessed to be here, and it's an honor to wear bonnets on my chest.
Coach, the free throws sparing kind of virtue tonight. Is that
Kind of.
something?
Yeah.
They're just big and strong, and it was just hard to guard them. And, some of them, it was our mistake. Sometimes we're in the wrong position, but, they're as I said, 7 foot, 6'10". It was hard. But at the same time, you looked at, like I said, 36 points in the paint. We fought. And they're a hell of a team, and those two guys are pros. So you got nothing to hang our head on, hang our head down. It was just, it was a fun game, and I was, like I said, I was proud of how we responded. Down 25-15, they got us. We were playing on our heels, but I thought our guys, got their feet underneath them and really responded. So. It's something that we can take away from. You never want to lose, but I thought this was the first time we lost. But I thought we handled the crowd, we handled the adversity the way I wanted to, and hopefully we can grow from here.
Coach, you talk about that response. A lot of those points you got coming back in was on the back of defense. A lot of points on turnovers that first half. How happy were you with the defense in that first half? Yeah,
it's just hard. We fouled too much. We didn't rebound. We had so many opportunities where we could have got the ball and it fell out of our hands. And and like I said, give Carolina credit. But I thought we, from a defensive standpoint, sometimes they're big and we had a hard time getting over the screens, and that seam pass was hurting us a little bit. But overall, it's watch the tape. But I thought we hung in there. But as I told our team, we weren't here for a moral victory. We were here to win, and it's disappointing to come up short. Now it's our first loss, and now we'll see how we can bounce back.
that second unit there, Coach, Daniel, Ilya, and Amari coming off the bench, they helped spark that kind of resurgence back in the first half, which you made in their contribution.
Yeah, we're going to need those. You know, the bench is really important. You know, we have good numbers coming off the bench, and they're going to continue to do that. And they were a spark. That's one of the reasons why we came back in the first half. And you know, hopefully they gain some experience, especially Ilya. You know, so it's a positive. And now we just got to go forward and prepare for East Carolina.
When you turned your 1-point deficit into a 3-point lead, was it the pressure to keep that? What were the keys to that?
Yeah, we had, you know, they missed some shots. I thought, you know, we executed better on offense. We got some offense off of our defense. You know, we made some shots. That always helps. But I thought we got some stops. And as I said earlier, I just thought we dealt with adversity. You know, we didn't splinter. You know, the timeouts, the huddles were really positive. So it's something that we can grow from. And you know, like I said, give credit to Carolina. You know, it's not like we lost to some has-been. You know, we lost to a really good team, and we hung in there, and we gave them a fight.
Coach, can you talk about these two players? You went out and found these players.
Yeah, I didn't find them, but
Okay.
they're terrific. They're guys that you know. I knew Frank from when he played at Canisius. I knew Buddy from Putnam Science. It's a big prep school that we recruit, and they've been everything that we've needed them to be. You know, in terms of you know, guys, you know, doing the right thing off the court. You know, going to class and being leaders. You saw it today. You know, guys. You know, they stuck together. They played the right way, and I'm glad that they're on our team.
Coach, I know you touched on it a little bit, but I think your defense forced 11 turnovers in the first half,
Yeah.
and only 2 in the second half.
Yeah.
What kind of differences you're seeing between?
Well, they took care of the ball better. I thought that's one of the reasons why we got back into the game. You know, we turned them over and got some points off of turnovers, and you know, it's as everybody knows. You know, basketball, if you can get numbers, you have a better chance of scoring, especially against their size. So I thought we did a better job, and they did a good job in the second half. You know, and you can say it's partly our defense. It probably was, but it was partly their really good execution on their end.
It's just going off of that earlier question, kind of from a roster standpoint, I know that you guys have brought in players from, you know, Russia, Italy, Ireland. Obviously, these aren't like typical freshmen just with their overseas experience. But how have you been able to just merge everybody so well?
You know, this is the age of college basketball. We're not any different than a lot of schools at our level. You know, we lose a lot of guys. I think we lost 11 guys last year. Brought in 11 new guys. The summertime's important. You know, to build chemistry, and you know, the foreign guys weren't allowed. You know, they couldn't get passports to get into the country, so that put us a little bit behind. But we have good players. You know, guys that understand how to play. They work hard. They're in the gym all the time, and we don't have selfishness. You know, you watch it today. I thought we shared the ball. You know, guys, they're competitive. You know, they push each other, but it's a team, and you know, win or lose, I think they handled the situation the right way.
Frank, you talked a little bit about matching up with Henry Star. Was he doing anything differently in the second half to maybe throw you guys off a little bit, whether on the defensive end or offensively?
I don't know. I don't see anything. I think overall they just out executed us. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just came out better than us. It's the first 5 minutes they did for us. You know what I mean? So I don't think it comes down to any specific player. Like I said, it's 2 big men. We both competed. We both went at each other, and it's good basketball, right? So yeah, credit goes to him. Like I said, he's a hell of a player. So he's a pro. You know what I'm saying? So man, he's gonna have a great season. You know, so on to the next.